Go with your intuition, which is always divinely guided. December 17, 2014. Humanity's progress towards awakening has been phenomenal over the last 2 or 3 years, although, if you are regularly ensnared by the mainstream media and its messages of mayhem and disaster, you might find it hard to believe that this is so. But remember that is all part of the illusion which you are working tirelessly to dissolve through the power of your loving thoughts, words, and deeds. Love conquers all in its path, gently and irresistibly, and that is what you are all doing as you engage firmly and constantly with the love field that surrounds you, effectively dissolving all that is not in alignment with it. You all chose an earthly incarnation as humans in this particular lifetime, because you so dearly wanted to assist as powerfully as you possibly could in humanity's awakening process. But of course when you enter into the illusion by incarnating as humans, you also enter a state of amnesia. Deep within you, you know that you have an essential purpose in the grand divine scheme, and many of you seek help in finding that purpose by engaging with the illusion, taking seminars of various sorts, following wise gurus, or taking up a recommended practice that you hope will offer you the definitive answers to all your worries and anxieties. However, the only way to find your purpose is by engaging fully with love. If you will do only this, all your worries will fall away. You will still have to cope with living in the illusion, and it will continue to present you with problems, but, instead of worrying about them and becoming anxious and stressed out, you will be able to deal with them intuitively, guided by the love that flows abundantly from the central core of your being, and lovingly assisted by those in the spiritual realms on whom you call. There is a well-known saying, a problem cannot be resolved at the same level of thinking that created it, and attempting to solve the insoluble within the illusion, war, disease, poverty, etc. does not work, because all attempts, however well intended, remain at the level of the illusion. Love is all that exists in reality, which is far beyond the illusion. It reaches down to you, or, if you prefer, it reaches into the nightmare where you appear to be imprisoned, to embrace and awaken you. Enormous numbers of you are aware of this at a deep level, which is why you are seeking a better way of life that honors all of humanity, but because of the strength of conviction required to see the unreality of the illusion, it is extremely difficult for you to truly believe that love will resolve all of humanity's issues. However, deep within yourselves you do know that love is the answer. Each day, or even each hour if you can, during your quiet time alone in your holy inner sanctuaries, make a point of intending to be aware of the divine field of love in which you are so tenderly and lovingly held. When you make that intent, without wondering whether it is true, and without trying to make a logical assessment of its effectiveness for you, am I really feeling the love? Know that the field responds instantly to you, because that is its purpose. Nevertheless, your egos are very well trained to deride or rubbish any loving sensations you experience and any awareness you notice that would assure you that you are indeed warmly held in the divine embrace. They will attempt to convince you that you are just imagining those sensations, or that you are delusional and desperately in need of psychiatric help. When your logical mind tells you that you are imagining these sensations, and your intuition tells you that they are valid, go with your intuition, which is always divinely guided. It speaks very quietly, while your logical egoic mind does everything in its power to distract you, so that you do not hear that quiet and loving inner voice which will never lead you astray. The ego's voice can always be identified because it fills your mind, your conscious awareness, with a constant stream of worrying and anxious, what-if thoughts, whereas your intuition is always calm, gentle, and comforting. The trouble for you is that the ego's voice is loud, and when you are worried or anxious, it is very hard for you to relax and listen to your quiet inner voice of wisdom. Most of you have had the experience of reacting spontaneously, with intense anger at times, when someone has pushed your buttons. Then, maybe much later, you have regretted it and remembered also having at the same moment had a sense that the reaction you were about to engage in, that seemed to be controlling you in the moment, was at best unwise, and at worst a terrible mistake. As the old saying has it, react in haste, repent at leisure. One of the major lessons that all humans are on earth to learn is restraint. but you are programmed from very early in life that there are dangers that you need to react to very quickly if you want to avoid pain and suffering. And, for human infants, that programming is initially very useful. Then as you grow into your power, becoming bigger and stronger than those younger or smaller than yourselves, it can be very enticing to use your power to boost your inadequate sense of self-worth, inadequate compared to those bigger than you, or compared to adult authority figures, by frightening, intimidating, or hurting others. Doing so gives you a rush, a sense of invincibility that is very satisfying, and the danger is that it will become addictive. If your upbringing has been abusive, you may never have seen or experienced wise adult behavior, and so you may have learned to rely on yourself and never to trust anyone in order to ensure your survival. Now, however, having chosen a spiritual path of growth, as you all have, you need to move away from your belief in force and compulsion as the means for your survival. If you are still inhabiting an environment where peaceful coexistence is not an option, then you probably need to move away. If everyone on earth who is in an environment of violence, hate, and oppression, refused to engage but instead moved away, then the violence would wind down quite rapidly, as those willing to fight or looking for a fight would find themselves seriously short of opponents. But this environment is illusory, and at the level of the illusion, these problems cannot be resolved, because those involved do not want to remove themselves, because they know that they are in the right and they have an intense need to prove it to themselves and to others. And many who would move away are, for numerous reasons, unable to do so. And this brings us back to the task in hand, the task that you as light workers and light bearers have undertaken so courageously and lovingly. That task is to be love, which is what in truth you are, and to demonstrate that constantly in your daily lives. You know that is why you are on earth, you know you incarnated to fulfill this divine task, and you know that you have unprecedented help from all of us in the spiritual realms. You cannot fail because you are divinely supported in every moment, so do not fall for the line of reasoning that suggests that for civilized humanity to survive, it is interesting to see who makes the judgment about who is civilized. Bigger and better military and intelligence agencies need to be funded and supported. And of course you will not fall for that line of reasoning because it has been proved beyond all doubt that it is utterly false. Be love, share that love, and watch with joy as those around you do likewise. Tremendous changes are in progress, and they are leading you irresistibly forwards to your inevitable awakening. With so very much love, Saul. Channeled by John Smallman. johnsmallman.wordpress.com